name is Dunaeva. I am a clinical psychologist living and working in Warsaw, Poland. I have own practice helping people suffering from depression, insomnia, midlife crisis, obsession, fears, anxiety, psychosomatic disease. Today I would like to present the topic which is the center of my empirical research for the last 5 years. The title of my presentation is The Notion of Fearlessness in Maasai Culture. I do believe that research of original cultures and communities may broaden our knowledge about psychic abilities. In my paper, I would like to show the conclusion of my empirical research, which I conducted in Maasai villages in Kenya during several years. The Maasai people still have a distinctive style of life, staying outside the process of globalization. To be a warrior means to be a Maasai in this culture. To be a Maasai is to be born to struggle, to fight. Fearlessness is a significant part of life and survival skills for Maasai people. The Maasai are an indigenous pastoral people who have lived under a clan-based communal system in the area of Kenya Rift Valley province and south in Tanzania. Artifacts showing Maasai culture have been found in the region dating back more than a millennium. Their history is a proud narrative on African people, whose cultural and traditional set-up has been undisturbed by the changing fortunes of time. Nowadays, Maasai people still strictly follow all traditions, living in small villages in the bush and forests, and keeping a reputation as strong warriors. Maasai women are mostly illiterate, without access to formal education, unless approved by men, who usually don't value education. Male elders decide if women will be funded or allowed to attend formal schooling. Attempts to develop their pastoral production system using Western concepts and models have typically failed, and many research showed. However, they now find themselves faced with change because of demands of modern life, with ever-decreasing land resources effectively threatening their culture and forcing them to seek other alternatives, as agriculture or some extent petty trade. As a result, Maasai people have started to embrace private ownership of their land resources. The change particularly affects their semi-nomadic life way, which is common with the movement of their livestock as the season change. Most of the expensive land is now divided into group ranch schemes and privately owned small parcels. The new land management system restricts their movement because previously boundaries were ignored during dry seasons, allowing livestock owners to roam throughout the land in search of pasture. It is the Maasai tradition not to deny anyone access to natural resources, especially such as land and water. This approach to life often puts the Maasai in conflict with their neighbors, those who have either bought land from the Maasai or who acquired it through private treaties during the colonial days in Kenya. In thinking of Maasai people, when Mother Nature takes away the rain, everyone should understand the concept of sharing, especially for protecting their wealth, livestock. The traditional Maasai economy revolves around livestock. For centuries, enterprises to Maasai was the use of livestock to barter for other goods, clothing, birds, and more recently grain, owing to change in their diet, between themselves and other communities. A Maasai prayer, "May the Creator give us cattle and children," demonstrates the importance of cattle to the Maasai economy. Cattle, especially cow, are the most valuable of Maasai communities. Although nowadays revenue from tourism is supposed to benefit Maasai community, their priority is given to wild animal. However, the attitude of Maasai culture to nature can be strange and obscure for Western men. What do I mean? One example. During the transition following ritual circumcision, Maasai boys kill, stuff, and mount decorative birds and wear the pelt rag as a headpiece. Just prior to circumcision, which take place in early to mid-adolescence, a Maasai boy begins to kill birds for practice, to signal a readiness to undergo the ordeal. If he begins too soon, or his family wants him to wait before being initiated, the boy will be told by his father to stop. But after circumcision, following seclusion, boys kill birds for real. Decorative birds, small but not too small to be hit, are stunned and killed with their clubs thrown or blunted arrows shot by the young initiates. The birds are gutted, cleaned and skinned with the feathers and tail left on. The skin is tanned inside out, then cut from the head with a big steel attached. Before an initiated procures any bird, Maasai boys cover their heads with a cloth, because so God won't see him naked. Other well-known tradition of Maasai community is killing of lion. The Maasai people believe that the killing of lions is a rite of passage. Young Maasai warrior have to prove himself by doing it. It is possible to guess that Maasai old traditions have one goal: to learn how to live without fear, how to exclude fear from daily life. Since ancient time, Maasai people live under constant feeling of danger. They take ritual precautions against mystical misfortune in their small and deserted villages, which are hidden in bush and forests. Maasai collective wisdom is underpinned by a belief in a moral, supreme, and provident God. They don't believe in destiny, fate, and good luck. They don't analyze if there are reasons for happy or unhappy events in their life. That just should be, it just happens already, Maasai often repeat. They prefer not to remember. No death of members of their family, nor own troubles and mistakes. That has gone away already, they often say. Time, space, and unknown are topics which Maasai people choose to escape. Danger and fears are also prohibited issues. From early childhood, Maasai boys learn how to protect themselves, their family, and home animals from human and animal predators. Girls are also taught how to survive in wild nature. As a clinical psychologist, I have decided to check if Maasai community really succeed in cultivating a feeling of fearlessness. I visited Maasai villages of Maasai Mara in Kenya Reserve in 2016, 2017 and 2019. I met and talked a lot with Maasai people and had a lot of possibilities to observe how they live and spend their lifetime for work and for rest. The result of my empirical research show appropriate level of stress, psycho-emotional stability, and good level of fitness of most of Maasai people with whom I met. Among them, there were not any case of distress and fatigue syndrome. In many cases, I observed the state of excitement because of very small things. Psychologists know that stress often followed by physical reaction as nervousness, high blood pressure, lack of energy, fatigue, confusion, anxiety, negative attitude or thoughts, obsession, constant worry, and of course feeling of fear. It is obviously that under such physiological and emotional conditions, chance to survive in the wild nature drastically decreased. Maasai people have known about it from olden time, I guess. And that's why lack of fear is the base of their simple life philosophy. In order to survive, you should observe the danger, but at the same time you should eliminate own fear. According to my observation, the strategy of Maasai people is to choose of more positive mindset toward negative events in their life. In many cases, they use bad experience as an opportunity to learn and to grow. This mindset helps them shift stress physiology toward a state of positive outcome. From psychological point of view, when we appreciate that passing stress, like bad experience, makes us stronger and better at it, it gets easier to face each new challenge. The expectation of growth sends a signal to our brain and body: get ready to learn something. The inability to adapt to stress is associated with the onset of anxiety, of various phobias. Frequent release of stress hormone disrupts normal levels of serotonin, the brain chemical, which is very significant for feeling of happiness and well-being. Observations show that Maasai people have concentrated power of will. They seem to be watchful and attentive, being very precise in each movement. Their body characterizes great flexibility and range of motion that prove the absence of harmful impact of stress and ability of Maasai people to relax. Their skills to direct own activities are confirmed also by their emotional stability. Additional survey, as interview with older members of Maasai community, verify that they prefer to find a quick solution of problems invoking strong negative emotions. If they have to confront somebody protecting own interests and safety, they just do it. Uncertainty, unknown, danger become ordinary aspects of their daily life. I come to conclusion that the main source of physical and emotional power of Maasai people is the ability to relieve themselves from bad memories and therefore from long-lasting stress. How can they do it? They just believe that human being has always been here and now. When somebody harms them, they don't try to answer the rhetorical questions for what reason he or she have done it and why it happened exactly with them. They just take it as it is. Fears and negativity are not the part of their everyday life, Maasai people everyday life. I think they come to conclusion that the more they eliminate fear, the happier they are. Fear is only what we perceive it to be. I would like to say that I haven't finished my empirical research of Maasai culture and Maasai people. I plan to come back to Maasai villages, live in the savannah near them, and continue my observation and communication with them. I am glad to say that many of them recognize me already and remember our talks and issues which I am interested in. How you can find Maasai people in Kenya? The number of Maasai people in Kenya is estimated to be approximately 800,000, with about the same number living in Tanzania. It is very easy to recognize Maasai people because of their red blanket and painted shields. You can see it here. In the savannah, it's possible to see them from big distance. The Maasai stretch their earlobes using stone, wood and bones. They usually wear beaded earring on the stretched earlobe and smaller piercing on the top of the ear. Why they are doing it? Traditionally, both men and women stretch their earlobes because long stretched lobes were seen as a symbol of wisdom and respect. Another type of body modification, sometimes carried out by the Maasai people, is tooth removal. The canine teeth are removed in early childhood as a remedy against diarrhea and other infections and diseases. Besides their colorful costumes, proud warrior society and fascinating customs, the Maasai are also known for their jumping form of dance, which is traditionally carried out by warriors. The Maasai warriors form and takes turn jumping at the center, as high as possible, without letting their heels touch the ground. As each man jumps, the others sing a high-pitched song whose tone depends on the height of their jump. Most Maasai men and women shave their head during rites of passage, such as of marriage or circumcision. Maasai warriors are the only ones allowed to let their hair grow, and usually wear it in thin braids. Maasai beadwork is famous for its intricacy, and it's throughout beadwork that Maasai women express their position in the society. Natural materials such as clay, shells were used before trading with the European began in the 19th century. They were then replaced by colorful glass beads, which allow for more detailed beadwork and color patterns. How Maasai people direct when somebody wants to talk with them? I cannot stress that most of them is waiting for communication with people belonging to other cultures. But if Maasai people have time and shouldn't focus on something, for example, watching cattle or building houses from clay, they are interested with talking, usually interesting. It's very important to say that they look like both open and closed community. It's my observation. If they don't feel any danger and observe respect to their traditions and their rules of daily life, they become open in communication and talking. But, of course, it requires the time, because Maasai people are very attentive and watch people who appear in their villages. Visiting Maasai villages, we should remember that red color is the symbol of warriors and bravery. So, if Maasai people only feel that they should fight, and if Maasai people feel that somebody who visits them has better intentions, they will fight to protect themselves, their families, and their right to be themselves. The Maasai people have become one of the more widely known symbols of East Africa. The Maasai shield is even featured on Kenyan national flag. It's not uncommon in Kenya and Tanzania to see the Maasai in their traditional dress, not only in their villages, but also in the streets of the cities, big cities like Nairobi or Mombasa. So, if you visit East Africa, Kenya or Tanzania, I'm sure that you will meet Maasai people, and please remember to respect their own tradition and their rules they follow in daily life. Thank you very much for watching and listening to my presentation.